Hi, Scott School second graders. It's Mrs. Larson here, getting ready to help you jumpstart week 5 of our distance learning. I have my lovely assistant. Please introduce yourself.
I'm Elizabeth, and I'm Mrs. Larson's daughter.
So, Elizabeth is in 4th grade, and she wanted to come back and help you guys out because she's been through all of this measurement stuff. So, she's going to be assisting us a little bit as we jumpstart our lessons for the week. So in Zern this week, you will see on your slide that you were working on lessons 12 through 19. Please note that there's a couple of lessons that Zern does not have on the computer. So you're going to want to grab your paper problem sets and do those couple of lessons on your paper, okay? And still make sure that after you do all of your Zern lessons, you go in and do your exit ticket as well. So your first couple of lessons this week, you're going to be finishing up making change with a dollar. Okay, and then we're going to transition back into measurement, which is something that I introduced to you guys a couple of weeks ago. So with measurement, you're going to be looking at measuring things with centimeters, inches, comparing them, whether you would be using a ruler to measure something, a yardstick, meters, centimeters. Okay, and one of the big things that you're going to be looking at is how you would measure objects and how long those objects would be, and then comparing the different lengths of objects. So Elizabeth and I are going to kind of give you some examples of some things that we think would be excellent real life problems that you could go ahead and do in your house. And so we have our measuring tape here, and we just found some objects in our house that we are going to show you how you can properly measure. One of the things that you want to make sure when you are measuring is that you take your object and you make sure that it starts right at 0. I know this may sound silly, but I've had many students in the past that are like telling me that perhaps their paper clip is 4 inches long because it starts here. But really, they need to start it all the way back at 0 to be able to properly measure and making sure it's lining up correctly. That's one of the really big things when you're using a ruler, is that you are very precise and take your time and make sure that things are lining up properly. So Elizabeth is going to show us how we would measure with inches. She has a couple of items. Why don't you share the first one?
So the first item is a book, and it's actually the Next Wayside School book that you guys will be reading. So let's measure this. The book.
So Elizabeth's going to show us that she is going to start right at 0 at the very end.
And this book is 8.5 inches.
Okay, what do you mean by half? I get the 8 part, but what do you mean by half?
So the book didn't mark exactly 8, but it also didn't mark exactly 9. It was in the half. So 8.5.
So it was right down the middle, okay? So if you come to some of those tricky objects in your house, you might want to have your parents or guardians help you with some of that measurement. Okay, so our next object here that we are going to measure is what?
We have a highlighter.
Lovely. I'll hold the highlighter.
So this highlighter is 5 inches.
Very good. So she lined it up at the 0 point and saw where it stopped. And then Elizabeth has one more object. She has been doing a lot of rock painting. She's actually going to show you one of her cool rock paintings that she did. Yeah, very nice. So we have her paintbrushes out. So let's measure your paintbrush.
So this paintbrush is 7.
Excellent. So 7 inches. So our challenge for you this week is to go around your house, see what different measurements you can find in objects, try and measure them with centimeters, with a yardstick, with a ruler. What other tips do you have for them?
So something that I love to do in second grade when we were doing measuring is I like to guess, well, okay, this is pretty long, so maybe around 10 inches. And then I would measure 7, and then I would compare my answers.
That's a really good idea. So kind of guess and test, right? Excellent. Well, we hope that you have a great week of learning, that you work really hard. And if you have any questions, let us know. Talk to you later. Bye.